Shalom. Welcome to a message from the wisdom of Torah. This week, we are concluding the book of Deuteronomy. We are concluding the reading of the entire Torah. We are reading the portion Vezot Haberakhah, which is the last two chapters of the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33 and 34, Lamed Gimel, Lamed Daled. In today's sermon, I would like to refer to the concluding of the book of Deuteronomy. The book of Deuteronomy, written in the last 3 months, less even, the last 2 months of the life of Moses, as he is about to leave the people. And he's summarizing what happened throughout the 40 years of his leadership. Moses repeats many of the mitzvot, the commandments of the Torah. He's saying his words to the people, knowing that he's not entering the land. God tells him, at the end of our portion, as it was mentioned before, you are to go up and take a look at the land. Chapter 34, Moshe, Vayal Moshe me'arvot Moav. Moshe ascended from the plains of Moab, El Har Nevo, to the top of the summit which is facing Jericho. Vayar'eu Adonai et kol haaretz, et hagilad ad Dan, and God showed him the entire land. The people of Israel are saying goodbye to their leader. 40 years it took them from the exodus of Egypt, while they were slaves, to become an independent people in their land. But he does not bring them into the land, but he prepares them for the generations. There is something very unique that we see throughout the entire book of Deuteronomy, Dvarim, that differs from the other 4 books of the Torah. I would take the verse which appears in last week's portion of the Torah. In Moses' last sentence, last commandment to the people, he says in chapter 32, verse 46, Pasuk Mem Vav, Vayomer Alehem, Simu levavchem lechol hadvarim asher anochi me'id bachem hayom. Pay attention. But not only pay attention, because the word in Hebrew is simu levavchem. Set your heart. Lechol hadvarim asher anochi me'id bachem hayom. Set your heart to all the things, all the words, all these words that I am telling you. Why? Asher tetzavum et benechem lishmor la'asot et kol divrei haTorah hazot. You should command your children to observe and fulfill the words of the Torah throughout generations. Ki lo davar reik hu mikem. It's not something in vain. It's not something vain. Ki hu chayechem. It is your life. Ubadavar hazeh ta'arichu yamim. On this word, using through this matter, you shall prolong your days in the land. Moses is telling the people of Israel, we studied throughout the 40 years in the desert many, many commandments. Many, many commandments that God told the people to preserve his words. But while Moses was with the people, he was able to guide them, direct them, how to behave, how to follow the words. But that is not enough when the leader is separating, is saying goodbye, and he won't be with them. And he wants his message to be for the generations and generations and generations forever. Here we need something stronger than just a command by a leader as great as he is. Here we have to touch the hearts of the people. Simu levavchem. Set your hearts. And therefore, throughout the book of Deuteronomy, the book of Dvarim, we find that the root, heart, lev, repeats itself again and again and again. And not only the word heart, things that have to do with heart. Love. Love your God. Remember your God. The concept of remembering. The concept of happiness, simcha, appears in the book of Dvarim more than any other book. Because teaching the word is one thing. Guiding the people is another thing. But guidance that has to live and last forever has to be something much deeper. Has to bring the people to a point where they feel that they identify with the things. Identifying with something is not alone giving a person a book of laws. Do this, do that, do this, do that. Here we have to do something much deeper. They have to bring the people to a point where they have to understand that the relationship between God and man is not only doing this command and that command, which is important, very important, majorly important. But if we want to educate the following generations, and every educator knows that there's one thing to tell somebody, do this, do that. But there's another thing. If we want our children to feel identifying with the words, here we have to educate, to love, to fear, memory, do not forget. Here we have to teach that the concept is much deeper than just a list of dogmatic commands. Here we have to teach that, yes, you are the people of Israel. You are God's people. And this is the message that Moses is teaching the people again and again. Simu levavchem. Put your hearts on these words. Therefore, Moses, as he's giving over leadership to Joshua, in the last 8 verses of the book, Moses passes away. And nobody knows where his grave is, because there is no object of the grave. There's no holiness sanctifying the grave. The concept is that the teachings of Moses have to continue from generation to generation. And these will happen by the words of Moses in the book of Deuteronomy, repeating again and again, don't forget, beware, remember, love, celebrate, feel happy, cooperate and gather other people to feel happy with you. And this is the concept that Moshe is telling the people. We are now concluding our series of teaching dealing with the message from the wisdom of Torah. In our next week, we will begin continuing on. My lessons will begin the book of Joshua, hoping to continue on throughout the Tanakh. Here, we are connecting the words of Moses, the wisdom of the Torah, which the message has to deeply leave something deep in the heart. Here we are talking about something that is stronger than just a command. It's a message from the wisdom of Torah. I was happy to be with you in this series, and we will be happy to continue on as we will study together with Moses' successor, Joshua, the leader who has to fit in his feet into the shoes of this great leader, Moses. I want to wish you all a very happy new year as we begin the new Hebrew year, and happy holiday as we celebrate the holidays of the month of Tishrei, Yom Kippur and Sukkot and Simchat Torah, where we celebrate the concluding of the Torah. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach.